Greetings, my name is Jonathan Helmke. I'm a librarian here at Stephen F. Austin State University. I want to welcome to the first session of Get an A with Less Stress. I firmly believe that as part of the research process that libraries and librarians can help you with the research process so you can get an A on your project and also with less stress. Today's session, we're going to talk about a few pointers to help you with the research process so it's not as stressful and that you can save time actually with the research process. So the first thing we want to talk about is, notice on this handout here, we have here Get an A with Less Stress, John's time saving tips. That's the goal of the session today. The first thing I want to talk about here is number one. The number one thing is back up your decision with information. So I'm going to highlight this here. So you're going to back up your decision with information. That's where I see the A's, B's, and C's kind of fall in when we review papers with faculty, is that if you can back up any kind of decision-making claim with information, you're on your way to get an A. That means that when you make a statement, that you back it up with some sort of resource. It can be an article, it could be a book chapter, or anything like that. The second thing here is what you're going to do is you're going to find, you're going to evaluate, and also you're going to use, okay? And the key thing here is you're going to use credible and relevant sources. And so I'll highlight that. So basically you want to find information, evaluate, making sure it's good information, and then use the information correctly. What I highlighted is that you want to find credible and relevant sources. What I mean by credible and relevant is, we're going to type down here, credible means that you have a current, it means a current information. So that's key when it's credible. And also you have then that you have authoritative. That means the author of the resource. So what you want to do when you establish credibility is you have a current article, and usually I tell students usually a 2-year period depending on your topic, but typically you want to look at the date of publication, but also you want to look at who wrote the resource. If you can establish those two things, then you're on a way to get an A, because then your faculty member will say, hey, they use current information, but also they use authoritative. That means the author who wrote the piece or wrote the website, wrote the document, wrote the article, has authority. And so that's a big thing that you want to look for. Okay, so where do you find these credible and relevant sources in a time-saving way? Here is my suggestion, is that you use the library's website at http://library.sfasu.edu. That way you can get the credible stuff right away. If you try to use Google Scholar or straight Google, you'll get mixed results. Where if you use our library's website, the library's website, you go straight to the article that is current, but also authoritative in the research process. So I guarantee you'll find your credible data sources by going right to the library's website. Also, your faculty member will also mention that you will need to find a peer reviewed source, or they call scholarly source. That's also available on the library's website. So I'm going to copy that here, put that down here. So many times on assignments, they'll say you need to find a peer review source or a scholarly source. Peer review means that it has gone through a peer review process. Let's say a faculty member, they submit an article to a journal, then their peers review the source to make sure it is the standard of and correctness of the content. So a lot of times that peer review allows for that source to be validated. And so then that way it adds credibility to the source if it's peer reviewed. When a lot of times faculty will use scholarly, or sometimes they'll use or academic source. So you can find those also very quickly on the library's website. And so that's where you can find the peer-reviewed sources. So to review for this first part here is make sure to get A with less stress, that you back up your decision by finding, evaluating, using credible, relevant sources. Credible is what means is current, usually a 2-week period, but also the author resource is authoritative. And also, when your class requires you to find a peer review source or scholarly source, the library's website is also available. And that is also a credible and relevant source. Another thing I want to talk about is time-saving tips to find statistics. And so what you want to do here is to find statistics is that we have a resource called Data on Demand. Okay, that is where you can email myself. My email is jhumkeyj@sfbsu.edu, and I can help you find the data that you need. That way you're not wasting time trying to find some statistics, where librarians can help you find very easily statistics to help you find credible, relevant statistics. Many papers require statistics to help prove your point or back up your decision. So we offer that service here to help you with that. And here's my email address, so you can email myself. You say, John, I need statistics on, let's say, marking statistics on a certain product, or I need statistics on a use of a service, and so forth. Okay, another time-saving tip I want to talk about here is plagiarism. And so basically, another time-saving tip is to write a better document that you're not tempted to plagiarize. Here's some time-saving tips. The first thing is, what you want to do is create a summary sheet when you are reading. That's a time-saving tip. That way you're summarizing in your own words as you go, and it'll help you save time writing the document. Also, then you're not tempted to cut and paste from the document itself. So make sure that you can, if you do that kind of small step, that will allow you then to create a summary sheet. Also, you want to integrate the sources. It is not best to create a book report, or we call data dumping. Okay, and that will save you time and get that A if you can integrate that source instead of just copy and pasting that you're integrating in it. And make sure you cite your sources in the text and have a bibliography at the end. So I'll highlight that. That's another time saver in how to get an A in your paper, is that you cite the sources in the text And I usually tell students it's better to oversight than undercite. And so basically what you want to do there is give you the citation in the text, but also have the citation at the end. This should be one-to-one correspondence. Okay, so the last thing here is John's 1/2 hour rule. This is another time-saving tip. So if you or in your group, if you're working together group, you get angry, you're frustrated within that first half hour, then what you want to do then is contact me, okay? Right away, just email me. You can any time during the day, and then you can actually then get help. There's no dumb questions. It's not cheating to ask for help. It's the best way to get an A with less stress. If you have any questions about any of this content that was covered in this session, please feel free to email me. And thank you very much.